We've arrived at the final level in your 5 levels of leadership, the pinnacle. So this is the highest level of leadership accomplishment, and it's developing other leaders to level 4. So John, tell us what specifically defines a leader at this level.
Time. You don't get there quickly. You have to have a lifetime of leadership integrity before you get there. You got to be successful. You got to be good. You don't get to level 5 if you haven't related well with people, produced yourself, spent years helping other people become productive and developing them. This is legacy. Level 5, if you get there, is legacy. And what's interesting about the 5 levels is that the first level, the organization gives you. They give you a job. They give you a leadership position, a title. So level 1 is given to you by the organization. Levels 2, 3, and 4, you earn. You're the one that develops relationships. You're the one that becomes productive. You're the one that helps develop people. So you earn those. You work for those. Level 5 is given to you by the people within the organization. In other words, they've watched you for so long and you've done it so well with so many of them that one day they lift you there. They put you there. And you're on a level. You're on a level that you can't even put yourself on. There comes a time where it's kind of like just what I call intuitive recognition, where everybody just kind of looks at you and says, you know what? You're level 5. And it's a wonderful level to be on, because if you get there, you only got there because you deserve to get there.
You mentioned that it's rare for a leader to reach this level. So explain why and what holds back those leaders who have grown their way through level 4 but never achieved level 5.
Well, the reason it's so hard to get to level 5 is it's hard to get to level 4. Only 5% of leaders ever get to level 4. 95% of most leaders just have followers. And most of the 95% of people that just have followers, they're very content with followers. Their followers are easier to lead, and you can make some good money with followers, and you can do some good things with followers. So only 5% get to level 4. Well, if only 5% get to level 4, you've got to do level 4 well. I mean, you've got to be good at it. So just because you got there doesn't mean you're going to get to level 5. So what do you do? I don't know. If 20% of the people on level 4 make it to level 5, that's only 1% of the people that started out. As you go to every level, there are less leaders. That's just the way it works.
Tell us about the law of legacy, John.
Well, the first thing I say about that is that we all get to choose what our legacy is going to be. In fact, I one time wrote down that people will summarize your life in one sentence, so pick it now. And I believe that. I believe that we can, on the front end, begin to pick out what we want people to think about us and say it on the back end. But the only way they'll ever say it on the back end, or the only way we'll have that legacy, is if the moment we pick what we want our legacy to be, we begin committing 100% of our time, effort, and energy to doing that. For example, I would like my legacy to be the fact that I added value to leaders who multiplied value to others. And that's what I want my legacy to be. And I think that we all get to choose it, but we have to understand choosing it is not enough. Then we need to be sure that we commit ourselves to the behavior, the values, the action that needs to flesh that out. And level 5 is obviously the legacy level. I mean, if you're on level 5, people already know what you stand for. They've already bought into who you are. So you have now ensured your legacy if you don't do anything stupid at level 5.
Yeah, I like what you wrote. A leader's lasting value is measured by succession. So when you become a level 5 leader, that doesn't mean that you automatically stay at that level, as we know. So, like other levels, it requires effort, self-discipline, diligence, and an understanding to stay a pinnacle leader. So give us the guideline to help us grow and develop other leaders to become level 4.
Well, I think it starts with value, that people are the number one asset, and that if we truly believe that, then we'll put time, energy, resources into people. I think if we don't believe that, we won't. I think it goes farther than that. I think it then begins to turn itself into taking that asset and appreciating it. And I think that's through mentoring. I think that the greatest way to appreciate an asset is to give it tender, loving care and to work it and to make sure that you add value to it and to go through what I've always called the simple 5-step equipping process that I've done for, 30 years. And that 5-step equipping process is step 1, I do it. In other words, I've got to be able to do it myself. I can't teach you to do something I can't do. And then step 2 is I do it and you're with me. And that's just pure, you're going to come with me and you're going to watch. You're going to observe. And I'm going to show you by example. Then step 3 is you do it and I'm with you. That's when you've gotten to a place where you can now do this. And now I'm kind of like your coach. And I tweak you and work with you and kind of help you and tune you up. Step 4 is you do it. You don't need me anymore. You know how to do it. So you go out and you're just doing it. You're just doing it. Now, we've already added because you're doing it. But I will say this, Darren, many people stop equipping when we've got step 4. And that's an adding phase, and that is a good phase. But step 5 is you do it and somebody else is with you. Now, that's compounding. That's all about reproduction.
So to wrap up this month, what one activity can we ask our listeners to focus on to start practicing the behavior of a level 5 leader this month, or something our listeners can do to accelerate their leadership level climb?
Well, you immerse yourself in the 5 levels until it's just standard talk. The Lilly Company has used the 5 levels to train their leaders for quite a few years now. And one of the things they said that was just a huge advantage to them is that it gave everybody a common language. And so therefore, when they were talking as leaders about other people they were trying to develop, they'd say, well, they're on level 2 now. And they had a language that they could all get around that allowed them to be on the same page, which is huge because assumption it just does nothing but saps energy and distracts an organization. So I think that one of the great values, again, of the 5 levels is it gives a kind of a defining world to live in where everybody's on the same page and they kind of know what their objective is as far as where they are, where they need to go, where they need to take their people. And then, of course, I think once you understand and have that definition of the 5 leadership and have that kind of being your guide, then I think it's just the fact that you implement, you get buy-in and you go out and build a leadership team off of it and teach them the 5 levels and have them build a leadership team off of it and let it just begin to grow because everybody's on the same page.
Excellent. Well, let's hope that our listeners go out and implement, and we will rejoin this conversation in our next issue of Success.